Hi folks, it's Karen here, co-founder of Tethered, and I thought I would just bring you down to the shores of Loch Lomond this morning. You can see it in the background. The sun has decided to come out, although it is still absolutely freezing and I'm slightly windswept. I thought I would take a couple of minutes to introduce Tethered, introduce myself, and kind of tell you a little bit of the founder story as to why Tethered exists. So you've maybe seen Facebook ads or someone has recommended us to you, but I thought it'd be quite nice to put a face to the voice, because I am the voice of Tethered. If you've listened to any of our meditations or dreamscapes, it is my dulcet tones that is lulling you to sleep, hopefully. And I thought no better place than somewhere I come for some solace to the shores of Loch Lomond. I guess the story of Tethered is my story. I'm the reason that it exists. So following a period of personal struggle with grief, I lost both my parents in quite a short period of time, and I've really struggled with losing that connection to family, to self, to who am I without them. As an only child, there was no other shared experience, and so I find that really tough. So I went for some grief counselling, and then I kind of found in the moments of quiet was when it was loudest. I struggled with being able to switch off my brain, which was overactive and overthinking and anxious and depressed and sad. And so in those moments I felt like I needed something else. I needed a little hand to steer me, to put faith in, to know that there were brighter times ahead, that this was just a moment. One of my friends shared something with me recently, and there's an Irish saying that you're not sad, sadness is upon you. And I love the idea that I have not become sadness. It is upon me, and it will leave, and it will lessen, and it will creep back up again, but that it's fleeting and it's not here to stay. And I love that sentiment. So in those quiet moments I looked for something else, something to help me, something that I could take back a little bit of control over those emotions and over how I was feeling. And so I reached out for mainstream apps that were available, but the problem I found was I just wasn't connecting. Something was missing from them. I could follow the mindfulness practices and the meditations and the stories, but I just wasn't really connecting, and because of that I was unable to fully switch off and fully appreciate the quiet, or find that quiet. So I decided one day, almost instinctually, to record some meditations of my own. Purely for me. I was not a huge fan of my own voice. I don't think many of us are when we hear it recorded for the first time. But actually I was really able to switch off. I was able to find those moments of quiet, and particularly going to sleep was one where I really struggled. My mind plays like a blockbuster movie in full technicolor and surround sound at bedtime, and so I really struggled to quieten that noise. And so by putting on the meditations and the mindfulness practices, I was able to create a habit. And that's something that's really important with mindfulness, that it is a practice. It's not a tick, I've done that, I'm now mindful. I would love to say that it worked like that, and on occasion it does. But mostly it's the tools to allow you to go, hang on a minute, I recognise in myself that I need this moment, and then carve it out. And that happens more frequently the more mindful you are on a daily basis. And that could be anything from your bedtime routine to waking up to actually stopping and taking 5 seconds to appreciate the sound of the loch and the shore and those moments where the sun breaks through the clouds and you see it. You know, you feel that warmth on your face, and those moments are the bits that we wait for. And with mindfulness, you begin to recognise them and are able to take them in that moment, which is lovely. So I created these meditations for my own bedtime routine, and they were working and it was great, and I shared them with a couple of my friends who I knew were struggling. We are all women of a certain age, and so insomnia was something that we were all kind of experiencing a bit more of. And I shared it with them, and they were like, we need this in our lives, we need this. And I thought, well, perhaps there is a bigger audience than just me and a few of my gal pals. And that's how Tethered was born. The name comes from the thread of belonging, of connection, of something that ties your heart to yourself, to your surroundings, to a moment. And that's what we're trying to achieve with Tethered, is to carve out those little threads that make your day or your night a little bit easier. And now we have over 200 pieces of content on the app, and we're just about to hit 500 subscribers, which is amazing because we've only been going for 6 months, which just is insane to me. But it just shows you the need for us to be able to carve out moments of peace. And that thread comes with the sights and sounds and scenery of Scotland. Something that has an inherent beauty and serenity and a romanticism. It's breathtaking, it's huge, and that's something I look for. When I'm struggling, I head to the forests, I head to the water, and I head to the mountains. I think there's something in the vastness of those things that helps me feel a little smaller. My problems seem a little smaller, and I can actually just breathe. I think we forget to do that. You know, it's an automatic response. We do it without thinking. But actually, if you take a moment just to stop and listen, try to isolate the sounds that you can hear. The lapping of the shore of Loch Lomond, or the birds in the trees. Just taking those moments and actually giving yourself the time to appreciate them, to notice your feelings and emotions in that moment. We're not trying to suppress them. We want to acknowledge them, but they don't define you. And mindfulness practice helps you carve out those little moments. And so that's Tethered. And we hope to bring it to as many of you as possible. In Scotland, further afield, wherever you are, wherever you need us, Tethered will be there. And we hope that you'll join us on our journey to mindfulness. We would love to hear your stories, because that's just mine. And what I'll do now is I'll be quiet and I'll just let you enjoy the sounds and the sights of Loch Lomond. Thanks, guys.